Alright YouTube, so I'm bringing you guys another discussion video for Fallout 76. It's a bit different from what we usually do on the channel. I want to talk about Fallout 76 and whether or not it is lore breaking. We've done a video somewhat kind of like this a couple months ago near the beginning of Fallout 76 where I asked the question, does lore even matter? And for me personally, it's not that big of a deal. I obviously want Bethesda to follow the lore of the Fallout series, but it's not like a deal breaker. If there was like some sort of a small change or retcon, whatever you want to call it, it wouldn't be like, you know what, I cannot buy this Fallout game because they're not sticking to the lore. And I've seen a lot of that over the past couple months. People are like, wow, Bethesda's not following the lore. How are the Brotherhood of Steel in Fallout 76? How are they in West Virginia? I cannot buy this game. I'm canceling my pre-order. And that's absurd to me. I can't believe somebody's that like focused on the lore of the Fallout series that they would actually not purchase a game because they're misinformed on what's happening. Like, you're allowed to not buy a game or buy a game for whatever reasons. You don't have to buy the game if you think that it's lore breaking or whatever. Perfectly fine. I'm not trying to change your mind or convince you to buy the game. The two biggest ones that people are complaining about that are lore breaking are the Brotherhood of Steel being in West Virginia and super mutants, which is kind of absurd to me. The super mutants one isn't even like a long conversation. The FEV virus was something the government was testing and working with before the Great War. It could have easily had the FEV virus at the Greenbrier or anywhere else in West Virginia. It's not even that complicated. It's a stupid conversation to have. Vault 87 was messing with the FEV virus, which is why we have super mutants in Fallout 3, and the Institute was messing with the FEV virus, which is why we have super mutants in Fallout 4. Again, people seem to think that this is somehow lore breaking or a retcon. It's definitely not a retcon. A retcon would be like Bethesda just erasing the Master from history. The Master never made super mutants on the West Coast. That's a retcon. Pretend like something didn't happen. Or changing the date of the Great War. The Great War all of a sudden happened in the year 3000. That's a retcon. More so, I think a lot of people are upset about the Brotherhood of Steel being in West Virginia. We don't exactly have an explanation yet. We have not played the game. But we've seen Brotherhood of Steel logos, Brotherhood of Steel like clothing from some of the gameplay that we've seen, and we've seen Crash Vertibirds and some other stuff. The Brotherhood of Steel is in West Virginia, and people can't seem to grasp how that's at all possible. The only thing we really know about the Brotherhood of Steel at this point in time is that in 2077, Maxon's Brotherhood went to Lost Hills, and then we don't know shit for like 75 years. This game is obviously taking place 25 years after 2077. It's entirely possible that some of the Brotherhood went to West Virginia. You could walk from Southern California to West Virginia within 25 years, not to mention the Brotherhood of Steel have vertibirds. It is not even remotely out of the question that they could go to West Virginia. It'd be different if we had a detailed history of Maxon's Brotherhood from 2077 to 2152. From the 75-year gap, if we had a detailed history, year by year, what the hell the Brotherhood of Steel is doing. But we don't. It's completely fucking blank. I don't understand why people are getting up in arms about this. I think it's entirely more plausible that they would try to explore America, explore the wasteland, or potentially go directly to the Greenbrier, which has a very important government bunker, than them just sitting inside the Lost Hills bunker for like 75 years. I have no idea at all how it's going to be explained in Fallout 76 that the Brotherhood of Steel is in West Virginia in 2102, but you know what? It's going to be explained, and it's not lore breaking. It's called adding to the lore. This part of the history of Fallout, and especially the Brotherhood of Steel, is blank. They're adding to the lore. Some other ones that people have complained about is the XO1 power armor and, of course, bottle caps as a currency. Now, the XO1 power armor we've also talked about in the previous video I did. XO1 is supposed to be post-war technology, I believe, by the Enclave. But with the Fallout 4 add-on Nuka World, we learned that there was a prototype of the XO1 power armor before the Great War. This, again, is not lore-breaking. This is adding to the lore. Before the Nuka World add-on, we only knew of XO1 power armor existing post-war, but Bethesda has since added to the lore saying, no, this is something that existed before the Great War. We had a prototype of XO1 before the Great War. Again, not lore-breaking, adding to the lore. If you want something that's related to power armor that is lore breaking, look to fusion cores, because power armor is supposed to run off of some sort of technology that kept it going for like a century or however long, a really long ass time, whereas with Fallout 4, now power armor lasts like maybe several hours in game time or like a day or so in game time. Like fusion cores don't last that damn long. That's something that's like retconning or lore breaking to understand that. But on the flip side of all that, from a gameplay perspective, I absolutely love the power armor in Fallout 4. You never felt like you were in power armor with Fallout 3 or New Vegas. It just felt like another set of armor. I love the way they changed it, so even if it is a bit of a change, lore-breaking, retconning, whatever, I think it's better for the series as a whole going forward, because you're supposed to feel like you're in this tank, this impenetrable tank. You're like indestructible, you can fight anything, and that's how power armor is supposed to feel, and it never felt like that with previous games. And the other one I mentioned is bottle caps as the currency in Fallout 76, how it's the currency in West Virginia, the other side of the country, in the year 2102. This one, again, I don't really know that they're going to give us a lore reason for this. But did we ever get a lore reason why it's a currency in Fallout 3, New Vegas, Fallout 4? I don't know if we ever did. And bottle caps initially became a currency in the hub because the technology to make bottle caps was mostly lost. There's a finite amount of bottle caps, so it was easy to be the currency. You couldn't really counterfeit them. So I kind of get where people are coming from with this one, but at the same time, people on the East Coast could have came to the exact same conclusion. Bottle caps, there's a finite amount of them, can't really counterfeit them, so let's make this a trading currency. But with all that aside, I just kind of don't even care anyways. I've accepted the fact that bottle caps is the currency of the Fallout games, so I don't even care for a lore reason as to why it's the currency in 2102 West Virginia. I don't even care. I don't even want them to tell me. It doesn't even bother me. To me, this one is like the most petty because it's the established currency of the Fallout games. If they were to change it, if Fallout 76 was coming out and we were using something other than bottle caps as currency to buy and trade with, there'd be even more backlash than there is now. The people that are upset would be like, how the hell is there bottle caps in Fallout 76? There'd be even more bitching if the currency was something different. So when it comes to the bottle caps in Fallout 76, it's pretty much a lose-lose for Bethesda because people are going to be upset if you change it, people are upset if you don't. And to jump back to the beginning of the video, is Fallout 76 lore breaking? No, it's not. Super Mutants FEV, pre-war. Exo-1 power armor, pre-war. Brotherhood of Steel, we don't know what they did between 2077 and like 2152. It'll be explained how they got to West Virginia, not lore breaking. Bottle caps, potentially maybe lore breaking, but again, the people in West Virginia could have just came to the same conclusion that it was a good currency. Will there be lore-breaking stuff in Fallout 76? Sure, it's entirely possible. Who knows? We haven't really played the game yet. But the things that people are latching onto are not lore-breaking. They're adding to the lore. Anyways, guys, you know the usual. Give me your thoughts below. What do you think about this? I've been hearing this for the past 3 or 4 months. I've done one video on it. Figured I'd do another video with a little more information. I was just kind of talking off the top of the head last time. And I just find it kind of funny that people don't want to buy the game because they seem to think that Bethesda's breaking the lore, even though they're not. They're adding to the lore, which they're absolutely allowed to do because they own the IP. They've owned the IP for like 14 years. They've owned the IP for longer than Interplay ever did. And ultimately, the things that people are latching onto that they consider to be lore breaking are the tiniest of things that are so irrelevant anyway. Anyways, guys, if you want to enjoy the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, turn on notifications, follow me on Twitter at TheDashingDavid, at my Discord. Links to my social networks are in the description and in the outro. Later, guys. Give me forever for a while, give me forever for a while, quit acting like